All right, let's watch this, guys. The 7 levels of RuneScape players.
Real Island, you're chopping some trees, you're burning down.
Let's see it.
This is our first tier.
All right, so this first one, we might see some clips of Triumphant in this first section here.
The best tier. The tier that you're either going to quit at or grow out of nearly immediately. Let me take you on a tale here. You load up Rooney for the first time, maybe the first time in a while. You might have played in grade school. Maybe you saw like a soda poppin' stream or something. You're on Tutorial Island, you're chopping some trees.
I've seen a soda pop, yeah. I've seen soda popping in this section. For sure.
You're burning down those trees, you're catching shrimp. Eventually, you're moving a little bit too fast. The shit's a little bit boring to you. Why do people even play this game? Oh well, you made it this far, you might as well finish the tutorial. Boom, we're in Lumbridge, where it all began, or for you is just beginning. You should quit now, but you're not going to. The world is your oyster.
Why would you quit
Under
now?
The crippling anxiety of choice, your head is spinning. What do you do next? There's so many potential options.
You make arrows. And you become the greatest archer that Gillinor has ever seen. That's what you do.
Out there. So with everything at your disposal, so many different potentials, you chop tree. Now, most of you are pretty experienced in the game. You know, this isn't the most exciting. It's not super sexy, but every experience at this point is a new experience. And like most of these are like core memories for me when I think about RuneScape. Your first few levels, these go rapid because you need almost no experience to get them. Your first time killing goblins for coins, going through the El Kharid gate, just to realize that there's nothing on the other side of it for you yet. The first time getting killed by those wizards south of Varrock. Pretty much everything here is a rite of passage, and the progress here is fast. As your levels go up, your bank goes up with it. You start to set more goals, and at this point, you're properly hooked on the game. You start to figure things out, and we kind of just fade into tier 2.
Supernova.
Yeah, I know the first one was
Thank you very much for the
This one's like a slightly later early game. You know, like you got the basics down, but you're still trying to figure some of the stuff out. You understand the different attack styles, how the gear affects them. You're past that point where you're like maging or ranging in plate armor, but you probably still use somebody else's player-owned house in World 330. If you're lucky at this point, you've stumbled upon the wiki, which will slingshot your progression forward a lot faster than if you didn't. You're probably not in a clan yet at this stage either, since
bro, if I could go back, I would learn how to use the wiki on day 1, man. I was dono walling the wiki for way too long in this game. I don't know if that's anybody else, but you gotta lock in and use the wiki early if you're not. It's more valuable to lock in and learn how to use the wiki than it is to actually play the game. I'm gonna just say that.
Since you really haven't felt a need to. There's not a lot of like group content at this level, but this is also the stage where you might be feeling that itch to be more social and join up with someone that you see advertising at the Grand Exchange. You should probably be a little bit careful of who you're talking to there. There's definitely a lot of scammers, but you probably don't have enough GP for them to want to scam you anyways. So, you know, it is what it is. If you do join one of these clans, you'll probably meet 1 or 2 people that you get along with really well. You become really good friends, and when they inevitably crash out in
get along with them really well, does that mean they carry you through stuff that you're not ready for yet? Is that when you're getting along with them?
In a major public way, you're probably going to end up leaving with them. At this point in the game, you've probably formed an opinion on Quest. You either love Quest or you just absolutely hate them. Or there's the third option where you've figured out RuneLite, you've gotten Quest Helper, and you really don't do the quest anyways, you just hold down your space bar. Speaking of, this is probably about the point when you're looking into ditching the vanilla client and switching over to RuneLite. 20 years ago when I first started playing,
how do you learn how to use the wiki? What do you mean, JPC? It's not easy. There's all kinds of things you could type in and click. You have to know what you're looking for. You have to know how to read, which I had to learn how to do that. When I started playing RuneScape, I had to learn how to read. Like, not a lot of people are ready for all that.
You would just be deep into PKing at this stage of the game. That's just like what pretty much everybody did then. But nowadays, there's really not going to be much there for you yet, so you'll probably just stick to questing and skilling for now. Progression at this stage of the game is rapid. All these lower levels, they just fly by you, and there's tons of quests for you to do. You started to dabble in some beginner bosses. You've killed the rat, you struggle a bit in solos, it takes you quite a while to kill them. You've done a few barrows runs, but you do them badly. You do 1 chest per trip, but you figured out how to use the player-owned house portals that we spoke about earlier so that you can teleport right back there. You're starting to lose your patience, but you finally score a barrows item. Oh boy, would you look at that, a Carol's Coin.
Damn,
after
that's what I got.
Like that, you're hooked.
That was my first item, and then everyone was like, oh, that's the worst barrows item there is. And then I got real sad and I left barrows forever.
People in this tier are generally more mentally stable than some of our later tiers, that's for sure. We'll get into that in a little bit. You're still playing this game like it's a video game. It hasn't really become a lifestyle choice yet. Probably never going to have as much fun as you had in these first 2 tiers. You're going to continuously try to chase it, but you're probably not going to get there. The vast majority of my audience is going to be in either this.
Oh shit, don't piss people off with this. Y'all remember the whole mid-game arguments over when I was in the mid-game or not? And nobody would agree?
Tier or next tier, because that's how I've
That's
curated my content, and just because most of RuneScape players are in these next 2 tiers. That being said, the vast majority of you will never.
Guys, I'm not in the mid game still.
This phase of the game, it's the huge phase.
I'm
of
in the
game,
early
and,
late.
You know, it's totally fine if you don't want to push yourself to things further than this, because you can have a shitload of fun at the skill level, even if you are plateauing. At this level, you probably look something like this. You have a dedicated gear set for each attack style. You're overly confident without any of the skill or knowledge to back it up. You've killed most of RuneScape's normal bosses, maybe dabbled in a little bit of Toa. You wear a fire cape, but you're not yet embarrassed by it. At this point, your brain has fully been rewired away from playing RuneScape like a normal video game. This shit's the big leagues. You've realized that to progress any further in this game, you're gonna have to go through long periods of doing things that you don't want to do. Basically like a job, except for this one, you're not getting paid in money, you're getting paid back in something better. Account progression. Hate quests? Too bad, you're getting a quest game. Achievement diaries? Have fun at Mage Training Arena getting bones to peaches.
Okay,
Training
I did
skills
that.
like runecrafting and agility? See you in 200 hours.
I did
you're
that.
in so deep now that you're not even remotely concerned that you have hundreds of hours of mindless skilling ahead of you. You've somehow convinced yourself that it's all gonna be worth it in the end. You probably watch RuneScape content on either YouTube, Twitch, or both, which is why I'm talking to you right now. This isn't even a video. I'm just speaking directly to you. This is also likely the tier where you've gotten a little bit bored with the bossing, questing, skilling, so you've started to dabble a little bit into PvP. Maybe you started anti-PKing, probably a few or more rounds of LMS. Some of you are going to love it. Some
Skill Specs never made it past right here, actually. This is where he stopped playing. This is where he stopped. He made it to the mid game and then went straight to the wilderness, and he never went any farther. That's it.
You're not. I think PvP is a ton of fun, but I get why it's not everybody's cup of tea. I talked a little bit of shit, but in reality, this is a huge part of the game. It's a great part of the game, and a lot of you are probably feeling like you're stuck in the mid game. When it comes down to it, the mid game is really just a mindset more than anything. There's a ton of you who probably have the levels and the gear to blast in the next tier. You just need somebody like me who's going to bully you into getting your Inferno kit.
Yup. Should I be bullying Gordon, Maester, and Triumphant and Moose a bit more than I am for having Fire Cape? Maybe they haven't made the push towards getting an Infernal Cape because they just haven't been bullied enough. I think we need to stuff them in a few more lockers type shit so that they can get some motivation. Because if your friends aren't bullying you, are they really your friends? You know what I mean? What excuse does Gordon have? Literally none. That guy's overgeared. Overskilled. If he doesn't kill it in his first few attempts, it's going to be embarrassing for him. There's some merit, some honor, and some respect that goes into doing it when you're undergeared. And he's throwing all that in the trash. Yeah, we're going to have to start making fun of those guys.
The end game. This is the end of the road for a vast majority of you, and for really good reason. I don't really think that most people should be aspiring to go beyond this. You can basically do all of the content in the game, and you don't have to be stressed by upkeeping a Zuck Helm or doing any other extra bullshit. And this year, you have your Infernal Cape. Maybe you've even gone so far as to get a second KC just to prove that you didn't buy it, even though you probably paid for that one too. You also managed to get your Quiver. You've also realized how dumb it is that the buy limit on those shards is so high that you had to spam your clan to get people to come help you out to get it blessed. You've killed every boss in the game, and the Theater of Blood has given you an ego which you almost definitely don't deserve yet. It's just a part of the culture though, so you had to adapt. Your Discord profile picture is probably either a picture of you with your girlfriend, or maybe the logo of your washed up YouTube channel.
I mean, I don't know about that second one. That's kind of crazy. Washed YouTube channel. I mean, yeah, probably that is. That's probably accurate, actually.
Either way, your life is completely out of balance, but you want the people around you to think that you have your shit together. That's what the whole like wife or girlfriend profile picture is about. You want others to know that you're not actually a loser despite your 400 days of gameplay time. Your gear is sick, your shit's all kitted out, and most of your time is spent either maxing out your skills, bossing, or raiding with the boys as God intended. The best part about this tier is that you've pretty much conquered everything and you really only need to visit 2 places in game. You have the Grand Exchange and the Theater of Blood. The goal here is really to build
I don't really need to go to the Grand Exchange as an Iron Man, and I'm kind of skipping Theater of Blood, so I feel like I'm in this category or maybe one beyond it. I'm not really sure, but he's almost hitting the nail on the head. This video is obviously catered towards mains, but I feel like maybe I'm in this tier. What is this? The end game. I feel like I'm in the end game, guys. A lot of y'all are trying to say I'm still mid game. I'm in the end game. I might even be Grandmaster tier. We'll see when we get there.
So much bank that you have everything and that you can just cut the Grand Exchange out of the equation, just split people out of the cash stack and just never leave the top bank. You can have a ton of fun in this tier. This is probably my favorite tier just because you can do all the content in the game and you can probably do all that content pretty well. But once you've done all that content hundreds if not thousands of times, the game starts to get a little bit stale, which leaves us 3 different options. Option 1, you get deep into PvP. You start killing people, you get really good at it. You just become an absolute demon in the wilderness. Option 2,
that's me
you can make an
later on.
Iron Man and do it all over again while explaining to others how it's so much harder than a main, even though it's literally exactly the same.
Damn, I'm actually so far beyond this video. I've already restarted on an Iron Man, and now I'm in the 2nd level of in-game on the next line. Damn.
Same. Or you decide to go for GM. Or you could also just quit the game, but we both know you're not doing that. So you did it. You got the Zuck helm. You are the Moon Master. People from the previous tiers think that you're crazy good at the game. It's like some mystical achievement, but you just spent that last month in the Combat Achievement Discord around people who are actually good at the game, and you know that you're actually shit. But seriously, I'm a hair above disabled, and I was able to get it. But afterwards, there's this relief you feel. You're done. You've done everything there is to do in the game until the next boss releases, and you have to decide whether you're going to upkeep this damn thing. Personally, I haven't even bothered. I got this thing in the bank. I can't even equip it. I can't even do Slayer unless I want to do a whole new helm. Never mind, I like literally couldn't live down that comment, and I spent the next 20 hours getting this thing back. Honestly, they should delete Perfect Doom. What a miserable task. There were so many times where I was just like right at the end there, and then one melee grub goes in and ruins the entire thing. Terrible boss, terrible task, delete the whole thing.
Bro.
Just kidding, the boss is pretty good. I'm just frustrated. And this right here is why you probably shouldn't have had that relief that you feel that I said a little bit ago, because it's gonna get taken away from you over and over again, and there's gonna be this weird OCD-like thing in the back of your head that's just gonna like compel you to try to upkeep this thing. It's totally not worth doing, but you gotta do it anyways. In this tier, a large amount of your time actually goes into figuring out the best bank standing outfit. There's many different ways you can go with this. You can go, I like to do as goofy as humanly possible, just put on as much dumb shit as you can, as long as it kind of matches a little bit. Because really, at this point of the game, you kind of beaten the game, and a large amount of your time is now going to be spent standing at the bank doing nothing. Going back to the Discord profile pictures, all of the other late game staples are going to be here a lot. You get the wife pick, the cute pictures of your cat or dog, but what you're going to see a massive increase in is the questionably aged anime girl, or potentially even weirder, the ones who will have their entire Discord profile dedicated to like some K-pop girl. Very weird. At this point, we're at a crossroads. You can keep on pushing things further into our next tier, or you could just give up on that and make a YouTube channel. There's honestly not too much to say about this tier. It's not overly interesting unless you're like kind of in it, if that makes sense. Kind of like the Inferno is the gateway to the end game. Getting your GM done is kind of the gateway to the high level content, the high level community. And what that really means is Inferno speedruns, Theater of Blood speedruns, and to a far lesser degree, Cock speedruns. And I'd like to throw in an honorable mention to competitive bank standing. Really, pretty much everything that this tier boils down to is just doing the hardest things in the game faster than other people. I think this is also a good point to sprinkle in a lot of the top.
That's the meta of every MMO, by the way, is just doing the content again faster. That's inevitably where it ends up. It all ends up in that bottleneck once there's no more content left. It's the same thing in WoW.
Top tier PKers, probably like a lot of the YouTubers and streamers that you know who do the PKing content, you'd probably put them in this tier too, especially when a lot of them like tried to get GM and everything. Like it wasn't that difficult for them. After all, like fighting a person Having to like telegraph their moves, read your opponent, and react to that while killing them is, to me at least, a lot more difficult than fighting a monster. But hey, maybe that's just because I'm bad at it. One of the things that is most interesting about this tier, maybe the only interesting thing about this tier, to me is the social aspect. There's a severe mental illness that's fully metastasized at this point, but it's extremely well hidden among most. And I do have to admit that if you do look around the different discords, we do raids, stuff like that, most of the unhinged lunatics and extremely public crash outs come from endgame and mid-game players. I mean, the most obvious reason is that there's just way more people in the mid-game and endgame than people who are going for like world record inferno times. So it's just more likely to encounter them freaking the fuck out than it is the like 7 people who care about any of this. But I do like to think that the high-level community is kind of split down the middle between people who are completely nonverbal and those who are just really adept at hiding it. The other thing to think about is that a lot of this endgame content does revolve around keeping social ties with other players. If you're just an insufferable cunt all the time, nobody's going to want to play with you. One of the biggest tells here is that people will tell you that they are retired. Retired from what? It's a video game. Homie's out here with a pension plan that pays in Doritos. Anyways, not really the most exciting tier unless you're into doing the same thing thousands of times in a row. And beyond this, you have your pioneers of the game. You have your Wookses, Pork Kazards, Exacs, Odablocks, 1013s. I'm just going to stop naming people now because I'm going to leave off somebody who definitely deserves to be on this list. These are the folks that are out there figuring things out, teaching others how to do it, or just making insane challenge content that no one else ever thought was possible. And half of them, I can't even follow what they're doing, especially like the recent Pork Kazard videos. At the end of the day, I'm super glad they're out there figuring it out. There's a ton of math and like work that goes on behind the scenes that honestly, I don't really care to even like know or think about. There's zero shot that I could have figured out the Inferno if people didn't make guides beforehand.
No mention for doing it again on hardcore?
Something like that. And there's tons of other people who are making cool videos, doing insane shit as well. And probably a ton of people who are just doing challenges for the love of the game and not recording it. I don't want to leave anybody out, so we're just going to leave it there. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you left out like and
Randy
subscribe,
and Doc
I'll
Johnson.
see you in the next one.
With the first BlizzCon.
Dang, no mention of Snowflake's accounts or doing it all again on hardcore. Yo, W video though. That's kind of cool to see like how he categorized everybody in the journey through RuneScape. I myself, you know, I'm very close to that Grandmaster level, I think, at this point on the second go, on like the second prestige, like Grandmaster second prestige. I'm pretty close to that, I think. Yeah, so basically all we need is a Zamaraki and Spear, and then we'll be even closer to that. Even closer, guys. Because Grandmaster on the Iron Man is like way more prestige than a main. So we might have to change it to Grandmaster second prestige. That sounds pretty cool.